This is TWiT.
Not that this was a surprise, but in the Epic discovery, they found some emails, and during a deposition, they got some quotes. I think the most telling one is from an email from Phil Schiller, who was responding to a former Apple employee who suggested the #1 most difficult reason to leave the Apple universe is iMessage. iMessage amounts to serious lock-in, to which Schiller responded, "Moving iMessage to Android would hurt us more than help us. This email illustrates why." Pretty clear.
I am so shocked. I am so shocked by this.
We always
and they don't put
suspected
Mario on the Xbox. They don't put Halo on the PlayStation. They don't put the Google Camera app on other Android phones. I am so shocked that there's business going on in these establishments.
Yeah, I was hoping they would do it for the people, but you know what? Google's inability to create a good Android messenger.
It would cost them money. Well, no, but there's four things. It would cost them a lot of money to do it with almost no upside.
Right.
Apple is historically not good at services or cross-platform, so I don't even want to know what kind of app.
Apparently,
it would be.
according to the deposition, they had an app. They had written one.
They do, but I mean, that's not a quality. I mean, they have Apple Music on Android. It's not like my favorite app. Yeah. And the last thing is that the only reason that iMessage is in the game, it's not in the game except in North America, and that's because it is built into the SMS app. It is drop dead easy to do. On Android, you'd have to press a button to make it default, and people won't even do that. So like, it's just I don't see any upside to them doing it.
They also, the other interesting thing in that deposition related to iMessage was he was specifically saying that it would basically, and not just to send people to Android, but send like their kids to Android. So
the cheap Android phones, that parents would buy cheap Android phones because you don't want to spend $500 on a phone for your kid.
Yeah.
So, and that's, but that's, that's business.
It's fine. Yeah. It does, as usual, make me think about the next time that whenever they're talking about on the Android platform they don't have this, on the Android platform you missed that. It's like, well, you have a wonderful platform, you could extend it, and if all these things that you keep couching in terms of, but we have a mission for humanity, we're trying to make the planet a better place, we believe that certain things are basic human right, like it's okay for you to say that this is what we want, this is a good business decision for us. As Rene said, there's a very, very rational argument.
It's a clear
this is why I don't distrust them. I don't roll my eyes at them. But every time they talk about saving the world, I say there's always a business angle.
I'll give you another example, and I apologize because it's a little convoluted. Google killed Hangouts last week for Google Fi users, which is the last bastion of cross-platform messaging. I used to use, because I have a Google phone, so I used to use Hangouts on my Google Fi number, and then I had it running on my iPhone so that I could get messages when I didn't have my Android phone with me, and that was very convenient. That's the number I give out, is that Google Fi number. So I was looking for a replacement, and there is a replacement that's everywhere. It's on the Mac, it's on PCs, it's on Linux, it runs on the Android phone. The only place it's not is iOS. It's called Pulse, from a guy named Luke Klinker. And Luke says, I wrote an iOS app, but Apple will not let it in the store because it requires an Android phone to use, and so they don't want that in their store. And that's an example of something that Apple could do at a and it's, by the way, you pay $12, they get money for it.
It requires an Android phone to use it on iOS.
Was it a way to get iMessage working on Android phones, I think? And so
no. That's another thing. You're thinking about Beeper.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Which is another thing, but that goes the other direction. It's and by the way, forget Beeper. There's a thing called AirMessage that works great. If you keep a Mac on, you just run AirMessage on it, and you can always use your Android phone. But so I have it going from iOS to Android. That's not the problem. What I want is Android to iOS. I guess you would have to have an Android phone to use it. So,
but how are we distinguishing it from like WhatsApp?
Here's the big difference. Well, there's always a difference on iOS because only messages could be your SMS app. So that's part of the problem. If I could make WhatsApp,
for SMS.
Yeah, well, if I could make WhatsApp my universal messenger, then I wouldn't have this problem. But you can't.
You can only do it on a contact by contact basis.
You can't. So, and I want to be able to receive text messages as well as data messages. That's not unreasonable. SMS is still widely used, especially for people not in the Apple ecosystem, which I have actually people I know are using Android devices. I know it's shocking. But I guess By the way, and on Android, you can say, this is my default messaging app, which is I'm doing with Pulse. You can't do it with WhatsApp.
What half the world does with WeChat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it's like most of my time, if I'm going to text, is Signal. I mean, other than Messenger.
I can make so
well, nerd,
the drawback
Alex.
on Signal. I love Signal. I would use it. And in fact, it can be the default SMS messenger on Android. The problem with it, you can only use it on one phone at a time because it's tied to your phone number.
Right.
So as soon as you log into your iPhone, it says, I've deactivated your Android version. Oh, well, that's useless.
That's part of what killed BBM as well when they finally ported it.
Yeah. They may fix that. There's rumors they're going to start using it.
Well, I have to admit, I have an older phone that I use a lot. And the main reason I use it is there's a whole bunch of people with that number that have Android phones.
Right.
And that tie me to that phone because
there you go.
All my other phones get all this other messages. And it shows up everywhere. In fact, it's a little annoying because it shows up on a whole bunch of phones and things going off.
All Apple would have to do to fix this is allow you to make other messaging apps default, just as they do now with Mail and browsers. Right? You could change your default browser in your email.
They'll get there.
Pardon me?
I think they'll get there. I think they'll do it step by step.
That would solve it.
Messages might be later because it might be complicated for them to unravel securely that little bundle that they've put together. But I think sooner or later they'll get there.
And the other thing it would solve is if SMS just died a horrible death. But in order for that to work, everybody I know would have to use the same messaging app.
I guess I don't actually understand. I don't understand how messages could open it up and still be secure. And I'd much rather have security than it open. Like I think I don't think you could ever really close that.
Although it's
that
not
gap.
that secure. I mean, how many times have we seen carefully crafted Apple messages?
We have Blast Door now, though, Leo.
What's this? Blast Door prevents that now? Is that going to fix that?
It's a lot easier to keep on working on one that's completely dedicated to that system than it is to start making it available to a bunch of other things. I think that's the issue.
And also, to be fair, there's no shortage of nice, secure apps for messaging on Android. So it's not as though Apple is denying something valuable that Android wouldn't have without it.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, this is a little petty thing, but I bring it up as an illustration of the fact that Apple it's more than just not making messages for for Android. It's really they want that walled garden. They really do.
But it's funny though that they make that up like they're holding out messages. Messages, like if you look at the top used message apps, it doesn't even show up. Like it's in the other section.
Right.
Like it's
even
not,
on
it's
iPhone,
so
people
small.
are using WhatsApp or they're using something Telegram or something else. I wish we could just.
Every manufacturer has exclusive apps. Like Google has a bunch of them. The Pixel can do things that no other Android phone can do. That's why I keep buying the Pixel. I'm locked to the Pixel because I want the Google goodness.
Well, Google has now killed everything for the Pixel except Android messages. That they want you, and that's the rich text system, and they want you to use that.
I'm going to smuggle a Pixel 5a across the border from America because we're not going to get it anymore.
I'll be your Pixel mule. I'll trade you pixels for Timbits and Nordique's jerseys.
Okay, done.